The summer air was thick with pine and possibility. 20-year-old Alex adjusted his staff Lanny, watching as parents dropped off their kids for Wilderness Pines summer camp. This would be his third summer here, and he knew the woods like the back of his hand. The camp director, Ms. Eleanor, introduced herself with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "We're so glad to have you back, Alex. The summer will be special." That's when he saw him standing near the dining hall, watching everything with unnerving intensity. The new counselor had striking features, sharp cheekbones, eyes that seemed too dark, and a smile that didn't quite match his demeanor. "That's Christopher," Ms. Eleanor said, noticing Alex's attention. "He transferred from Whisper Pines. Has excellent recommendations." The first few days followed a predictable rhythm. Morning flag raisings, canoe lessons, nature hikes through ancient pines. Christopher proved to be the perfect counselor, enthusiastic, knowledgeable, and popular with the campers. But Alex felt a growing unease. It started subtly. During introductions, Christopher mentioned Alex's favorite book before he'd even shared that detail with the group. Then during the wilderness survival test, Christopher seemed to know exactly where to find the hidden supplies, even though this was his first summer at Wilderness Pines. "Had you always known these woods?" Alex asked one evening while preparing campfires. "All forests are similar," Christopher replied, his eyes reflecting the flames. "They whisper the same secrets." Alex shuddered, though the night was. The tension escalated when campers began behaving strangely. Sarah, normally bubbly and outgoing, sat silently at meals, her eyes wide with fear. When Alex asked what was wrong, she just whispered, "The woods watch us now." Parents started calling too. First Mrs. Henderson asking about her 7-year-old son who'd complained about a shadow man's following him. Then Mr. Thompson inquiring about his daughter who'd drawn disturbing pictures of a figure with 2 long fingers lurking behind trees. Meanwhile, Christopher seemed to be everywhere at once. Counselors reported seeing him on opposite sides of camp simultaneously. At staff meeting, Ms. Eleanor's forced cheer faltered as she addressed unfounded rumors among campers. Christopher remained silent throughout, watching her with those unsettling dark eyes. That night, Alex decided to investigate Christopher's past, something Miss Eleanor seemed curiously reluctant to discuss. He contacted Whisper Pines, only to be met with stonewalling from the director. Rumors whispered between hushed phone calls suggested Christopher had never officially worked there. No employment records existed. That night, another counselor approached Alex, Michael, who'd been watching Christopher with growing suspicion. "I've seen him walking in his sleep," Michael said, his voice trembling. "All night he circles the cabins, his eyes wide open. And earlier today, he knew something happened between me and Sarah before it happened." As if summoned, Christopher appeared at the edge of their conversation, his smile gone. "Privacy develops between staff members. It's understandable." His voice was polite, but carried an edge of steel. The confrontation finally came during a thunderstorm. Alex had access to Christopher's cabin while he was leading campers on a night hike. Inside the dark room, he found walls covered in photographs taken from hidden angles, campers sleeping, changing, bathing. And beneath them, detailed logs of behaviors, fears, and secrets that shouldn't have been known. The truth struck Alex like lightning. Christopher had been here before. Not as a counselor, but as something else entirely. The missing person reports from 5 summers ago resurfaced in his memory. 3 counselors who vanished without a trace. "Find anything interesting?" Christopher's voice from the doorway made Alex jump. The new counselor stood there, his expression unreadable behind the rain-streaked glass. Ms. Eleanor finally. The chase through the rain-lashed woods blurred into nightmare. Alex sprinted through ancient pines, branches whipping at his face, roots reaching like grasping fingers. Christopher moved with impossible silence, always just behind him. "Run, run, run," Christopher's voice echoed through the trees, both near and impossibly distant. "My predecessors taught me the value of first-hand observation." Alex lost his footing and plummeted down an embankment, landing in a shallow creek. Christopher appeared at the top, silhouetted against storm clouds, a terrible smile on his face. This was where Jeff finally understood. Did you know he fought back? For several minutes? Such spirit. As Christopher descended, Alex noticed something in the moonlight. 5 matching notches carved into the grip of his hunting knife, worn smooth. Alex emerged from the creek battered but alive. Christopher was gone, vanished without a trace. When he returned to camp, he found Miss Eleanor waiting, not with relief but with a chilling calm. "Students will be dismissed early tomorrow," she announced to the gathered staff. "We'll say, weather concerns." Alex confronted her about Christopher's disappearances, about the 5 missing counselors from previous years. Miss Eleanor finally revealed the truth. Wilderness Pines had been operating illegally for years. Christopher wasn't her first stooge. When attendance flagged, simple solutions were found. "The camp won't close on my watch," she stated, her eyes finally showing her true nature. "Too many children benefit from our program." Later that night, Alex awoke to a figure standing beside his bed. Not Christopher, but an older man with the same dark eyes and too perfect smile. He had to warn the others, had to get help. But as he reached the main lodge, he found himself facing the entire staff. Miss Eleanor, Christopher's replacement, and several unknown men. "The internet has made things far too complicated," Miss Eleanor said, her voice serene despite the madness in her eyes. Some stories shouldn't be told. Before they could grab him, Alex raced into the woods, following paths that were too familiar. Paths that Christopher had taught him just days before. He finally reached the main road, flagging down a sheriff's patrol car. When he tried to explain, the deputy merely smiled and radioed for backup. No alarms reported, the deputy said calmly. Everything seems fine at Wilderness Pines. As they turned back toward the camp entrance, Alex saw him, Christopher, standing by the edge of the woods watching their approach. This time, he wasn't alone.